Hi guys, welcome to our English for academic and professional purposes subject, and for today we will be talking about the basics of summarizing. Let's go with the objectives of this lesson, and at the end of the lesson you should be able to determine the purpose of summarizing, discuss the features of summarizing, and apply effective strategies in summarizing. As an important skill in critical reading, summarizing is often used to determine the essential ideas in a book, article, book chapter, and an article or parts of an article. These essential ideas include the gists or main idea, useful information or keywords or phrases, and it helps you to meet your reading purpose. And summarizing is generally done after reading. It can also be done as well while reading a text. Summarizing is an important skill because it helps you to deepen your understanding of the text. By summarizing, you'll be able to understand more what the text is all about. Second is to learn to identify the relevant information or key ideas. Another is to combine details or examples that support the main ideas. It helps you to concentrate on the gist or main idea and keywords presented in the text. And lastly, we have to capture the key ideas in the text and put them together clearly and concisely. We have different concepts in summarizing, and when we say summarizing, it means identifying the most important ideas in the text and rewriting them in a version shorter than the original text. The main objective of summarizing is to get the main ideas or the gist to make the article shorter than the original version or than the original text. So what is not summarizing? You're not summarizing when you write down everything. When you write down ideas from the text word for word. And also when you write incoherent and irrelevant ideas. So make sure to include just the relevant ideas on what you are about to summarize. Also, you are not summarizing when you write down ideas that are not stated in the text, or write down a summary that has the same length or longer than the original text. So do not make or do not write something that is longer than the original text, since the main goal of summarizing is to make a specific text shorter. So we have different guidelines in summarizing. First is to clarify your purpose before you read. Read the text and understand the meaning. So after reading the text, you should locate the gist or main idea of the text, which can usually be found either at the beginning, in the middle, or in the end. So you should know how to locate the gist or the main idea. Third is to select and underline or circle the key ideas and phrases while reading. So in short, while reading, you should annotate the text. Fourth is you should write all the key ideas and phrases that you identified on the margins or on your notebook in a bullet or an outline. So this will help you to combine your ideas easily if you use bullets or outlines from the text that you have read. Fifth is, without looking at the text, identify the connection of these ideas and phrases using a concept map, graphic organizers, or thinking maps. So we have already discussed the different graphic organizers that you can use in organizing your ideas and thoughts. So you should combine these phrases in order to identify the connection of these ideas or thoughts. Sixth is to list your ideas in sentences into paragraphs. So you should use appropriate transitional devices to improve your cohesion. So from sentences, you should be making it, or you should be combining it to form a paragraph. And when we say transitional devices, these are the words that serves as a bridge between the parts of your paper. So they are cues that helps the reader to interpret ideas a paper develops. This helps you to carry a thought from one sentence to another, from one idea to another, or from one paragraph to another. It links these sentences and paragraphs together smoothly so that there are no abrupt jumps or breaks between your ideas. So examples of transitional devices are the following. We have and, again, and then, besides, equally important, finally, further, furthermore, and so on. Those are the transitional devices if you are going to add something. Also, if you're going to compare, we have whereas, but, yet, on the other hand, however, nevertheless, on the contrary, and so on. So you can search more on the transitional devices that you can use in writing if you are interested about it. But make sure to know the concept of transitional devices. 7 is to combine the sentences into paragraph and use appropriate transitional devices to improve your cohesion. So use these transitional devices in order for you to have these ideas smoothly. 8 is to ensure that you do not copy a single sentence from the original text. So in summarizing, you should not copy any word from the original text. You should avoid that. Number 9 is to refrain from adding comments about the text. You should stick to the ideas it presents. Opinion or any comment is not acceptable in summarizing. It will lead into another form of writing, and if you add comments, that is not summarizing anymore. Number 10 is to edit the draft of your summary by eliminating redundant ideas. So when we say redundant, these are the thoughts or ideas that is being repeated from what you have written on the draft. Number 11 is to compare your output with the original text to ensure accuracy. 12 is to record the details of the original source. Take note of the author's name, date of publication, the title, publisher, place of publishing, and its URL if your source is online. These are the important things that you have to list if you are going to summarize an academic text. Number 13 is to format your summary properly. So we have different formats in summarizing. So all in all, a good summary has different characteristics and it should provide an overview of the source of the material. It is shorter than the original text and it reflects the exact views or ideas of the author. And also based on the guidelines, it should not contain comments or opinions of the one doing the summary. And of course, make sure to cite your sources. These are the formats that you may use in writing summaries. First is the idea heading, author heading, and the date heading format. First, we have the idea heading format. So in this format, the summarized idea comes first before the citation. So example, benchmarking is a useful strategy that has the potential to help public officials improve the performance of local services. Once the practice of a particular city is benchmarked, it can be a guidepost and the basis for the another counterparts to improve its own. So the summarized idea is in the first sentence, and this is the one that is being in bold letters. So the citation is Falls 2004 and Ammons 2001. As you notice, the citation in summarizing does not follow any citation styles like APA, AMA, and whatnot. So idea heading format, the summarized idea comes first before the citation. So the summarized idea is benchmarking is a useful strategy that has the potential to help public officials improve the performance of local services. The citation is Falls 2004 and Ammons 2001. Second, we have the author heading format. And when we say author heading, the summarized idea comes after the citation. So the author's names are connected by an appropriate reporting verb. So it states here that the author's name are connected by an appropriate reporting verb. So can you tell me where are the reporting verbs on the summarized ideas? So in the first sentence, the reporting verb is shows that. And on the second, we have asserts that. And when we say reporting verb, this is a word used to discuss another person's writings or assertions. They're generally used to incorporate the source to the discussion in the text. It is also known as referring verbs, and these are verbs which are used when you report or refer to another's writer's work or to another writer's work. And let's take a look at the example here. Having a syntactically correct sentence is not enough to create meaning. As Noam Chomsky pointed out, a sentence can be perfect in terms of syntax and still not make sense. He showed this by coming up with the famous sentence, "Colorless green ideas live fearlessly," Chomsky, 1957. So we have two reporting verbs on the example. The first one is pointed out and showed. Next, let's talk about the third format, which is the date heading format. So in this format, the summarized idea comes after the date when the material was published. Example: on the other hand, active participation of citizens in development contributes to a sound and reasonable government decisions. In their 2004 study on the impact of participatory development approach, Irvin and Stansbury argue that the participation can be valuable to the participants in the government in terms of the process and outcomes of decision making. Okay, so notice here the date when the material was published, 2004, right? So after the published date, you can see immediately the summarized idea. Study on the impact of the participatory development approach, Irvin and Stansbury argue that participation can be valuable to the participants in the government in terms of the process and outcomes of decision making. Just a recap on the three formats in summarizing. In idea heading format, the summarized idea comes after the citation. And for author heading format, the summarized idea comes after the citation. And in the date heading format, the summarized idea comes after the date when the material was published.